Christmas should be high-end steak, right? Poor people. You don't even understand something so simple, and that's why things are like this. The best way to teach is through pain.
Anna threw a piping hot stew right at me. She acted as though she was absolutely right. I was so stunned that I couldn't do anything but remain silent. But then Tom suddenly stood up.
Bring your parents here.
Tom said loudly. I was shocked to see him in this unfamiliar state, and even more so was Anna. She went from talking with a smirk to wide-eyed surprise as she stared at him.
Huh?
You think just because you're the daughter of a CEO you can do whatever you want? Well then, bring that great CEO here.
My name is Nancy, and I'm 32 years old, working in an office job. Last year, I married Tom, a man I had been dating for 3 years, and although we don't have children yet, our relationship is strong. Both of us work, and we're able to live a financially comfortable life. Hey, I'm home. Sorry I'm late. A last-minute meeting came up.
That's okay. I made dinner tonight.
Really? Thanks. My dad was an old-fashioned man, a classic household ruler kind of guy. As a result, it was normal for my mom to do all the housework. My mom accepted this because she was a stay-at-home mom, but to me, it always seemed a little strange. It was odd that my dad never helped my mom, even though they were married. On weekends, holidays, or even at family gatherings, it was always my mom who did the work. Growing up in that kind of home, I thought marriage was supposed to be like that. So when Tom took the initiative to help with chores right after we got married, I was really surprised.
Since I got home early today, I hung the laundry. This way we can relax tomorrow on our day off.
You even did the laundry? Tom, you must be tired too. You should rest.
Until last month, I was really busy with work and couldn't help out around the house. This is just a small way to give back, but when I can, I like to help out.
By supporting each other like this, I think that's why our married life has been going so smoothly. One day, both of us had the day off, and we were lounging on the couch when Tom, who had been fiddling with his phone, suddenly stood up.
Mike is getting married. He introduced me to his girlfriend the other day, but looks like he's finally tying the knot.
Oh, that's great. Congratulations.
Yeah, getting married is always a good thing, but…
Mike is Tom's younger brother, a year younger than me. He's a kind, considerate person, and we've always gotten along well because we're close in age. I didn't know he was seeing someone, but it's definitely good news that he's getting married. However, it seemed like Tom wasn't genuinely happy about it. Is there a problem?
Well, maybe it's none of my business, but I'm not really fond of Mike's partner. Her personality. It's kind of difficult.
Really? I didn't know Mike's partner, but it was unusual for Tom to say something like this. Of course, I didn't want to interfere with someone else's life choices, and if Mike had chosen her, I was ready to support them. But when I looked at Tom's expression, I couldn't help but feel worried, wondering if everything was really okay. A month later, Mike and his partner were coming over to greet my in-laws. Since we were off work, Tom and I decided to go as well.
Hello.
When they arrived, the woman with blonde hair, flashy nails, and revealing clothes was introduced. Her name was Anna, and she was 28 years old. Of course, it's not right to judge someone by their appearance. But to be honest, my first impression wasn't great. Today was supposed to be a formal greeting about their marriage. She shouldn't just wear whatever she likes. She should think about the occasion and setting. What also caught my attention was Anna's tone of voice. I'm Nancy Anderson.
Yeah, just call me Anna.
As someone who will marry into the family, I want to build a good relationship with Anna. But she felt overly familiar. It was our first meeting, and on top of that, we were at a formal occasion to announce their marriage. I thought she should have considered her manners more, but I kept quiet, not wanting to ruin the atmosphere. After the greetings, Tom and I returned home.
Anna seemed kind of rude, right? That's why I'm a little concerned.
Yeah, you're right. but maybe she's just got a good personality. If she's the one Mike chose, I think we should trust his decision.
Yeah, I guess. It's not really our place to say anything.
Tom felt the same way I did, but I figured Mike wouldn't have decided to marry her without thinking it through. They had been dating for a year, so I hoped things would be okay. 3 months later, the wedding took place, and Tom and I attended.
Wait, why are you here? I thought you wouldn't come.
What?
Isn't it tough with the wedding gift money? If you both work, it must be hard financially. Or did you come just to attend this lavish wedding?
Indeed, their wedding was extravagant, with many guests. I heard that Anna's parents ran a company and helped cover half of the wedding expenses. But that wasn't why we came. I was a little upset by Anna's words, which seemed to mock us. It's not like that at all. We're not working just because we don't have money.
Just because I'm the CEO's daughter doesn't mean you have to compete with me. Or are you jealous because you couldn't afford such a grand wedding?
I hadn't noticed it at the greeting, but Anna wasn't just lacking in manners. She was treating us like we were beneath her. Because we both worked, she thought we were poor. Of course, that didn't sit well with me, and I was a bit disappointed that Mike's fiancé was like this. Your comments are a bit sharp. You should be careful not to make people uncomfortable.
It's just the truth. If you don't like it, try working harder and get rich. Even your dress is old and shabby. You probably don't have the money for a designer one.
The dress I was wearing was a precious heirloom from my mom. Sure, it might not have the monetary value of a designer dress. However, to me, it is the most valuable thing in the world. It might be old, but it wasn't inappropriate for a wedding. This dress is.
I'm not interested in your excuses. Well, I have other greetings to attend to, so enjoy the expensive food you normally can't have.
With that, she walked away to another table. No matter who the person is, looking down on others is wrong. It's something even a child would understand. But Anna clearly didn't get it. I was of course stunned, and so was Tom, who was sitting next to me. She really does have a difficult personality, huh?
Yeah. Do you think we should tell Mike? If he's happy and there's no problem, we should just stay quiet, but...
With her attitude, she probably couldn't even get along with the neighbors, and she might have been saying odd things to other guests as well. But after discussing it with Tom, I decided that if Mike asked, I would tell him about what happened. The wedding went off without any further issues, and after that, we barely saw them for a year and a half. Both Tom and I were busy with work, barely having any personal time. As a result, we hadn't had a chance to visit Tom's parents for Christmas. Wow, it's been over a year already. We were planning to visit your parents on Thanksgiving, but that didn't happen.
Yeah. Well, my dad and mom seem to be doing fine, so I'm glad we could come back for Christmas.
As we were talking, we arrived at Tom's parents' house. Since we had decided to make beef stew for Christmas, I headed straight to the store to do the shopping. Tom and I, along with his parents, were expecting his brother and his wife to come as well. After loading up my shopping bags, I finally returned to find Anna lounging on the couch, relaxed. Tom's parents had gone to buy alcohol and snacks, while Tom and Mike were out greeting the neighbors. So it was just me and Anna at the house.
Oh, the servant is back.
I was about to greet her, but when those were the first words she said to me after not having seen me in a while, I lost all desire to do so. It felt like she was someone who took pleasure in looking down on others. What do you mean by servant? There are things you can and can't say, no matter what the relationship is.
Well, it's the truth, right? You had to do all that shopping by yourself, carrying all those heavy bags. That makes you nothing but a servant.
I didn't have a bad relationship with Tom's parents, and I wasn't being made to do everything. They had offered to come with me, but there were some specific stores they needed to visit, like their favorite liquor store and snack shop. So, I volunteered to handle the supermarket shopping on my own. But to be called a servant was honestly infuriating. It felt wrong to be called that by someone who didn't help at all and was just lying on the couch. If you're going to say something like that, then please help out. Isn't it strange to just talk while not doing anything yourself?
Do you know I'm the CEO's daughter, right? Are you really asking me to do menial chores?
That has nothing to do with it, does it? I had raised my voice a bit, but I didn't think I was saying anything wrong. Just because she's the CEO's daughter doesn't mean she can do whatever she wants. She's not a child, so I thought she should understand that.
It has nothing to do with it? Who do you think you're talking to?
I'm saying the same thing to anyone, not just you, Anna.
I'm pissed off. You'd better apologize right now. Your behavior is unacceptable.
Anna glared at me as she said this. But I wasn't going to change my mind. She was the one who did something wrong, so there was no reason for me to apologize. I didn't want to cause a big issue, but I wasn't the type to lower my pride and apologize when I hadn't done anything wrong.
If you apologize, then I'll forgive you.
I'm not going to apologize. I have things to do. I said that, and then I headed for the kitchen. Talking to Anna any further wouldn't get us anywhere, and I had to prepare dinner for the evening. I quickly started preparing. All right, it's ready. She could see me from where she was sitting, but she didn't offer to help at all, just watching TV the whole time. I didn't need her help, but I really didn't want to hear any more strange comments from her. While I worked, I thought about that. Then Tom's parents returned, and our Christmas dinner began. Seeing Tom and his parents enjoying my beef stew made me feel like all my effort was worth it.
I'm going to take some to the neighbors.
Mike said this and went outside with his mother. They were taking the leftover food to the neighbors. At the same time, my father-in-law went to shower, and only Tom, Anna, and I were left in the living room. Because of the earlier incident, I didn't say anything to Anna. Tom was puzzled, but he didn't say anything, just waiting for Mike and his mother to return. Then, all of a sudden, wow! I was startled and let out a loud voice. To my surprise, Anna threw a pot of beef stew on the table at me. It had been kept warm, so it was still extremely hot. I instinctively tried to shield myself with my hand, which caused me to burn my hand and arm. What are you doing?
I didn't think it would go this well.
Anna laughed loudly without any sign of remorse. At that point, I completely lost my patience. Her actions were absolutely unforgivable. Stop messing around. Don't you know the difference between right and wrong?
Christmas is supposed to be for high-end steak, right, poor people? You don't even understand something so simple, and that's why this is happening. The best way to discipline is through pain.
She spoke as if she were absolutely right. I never imagined that someone like her even existed. Her behavior went far beyond a lack of manners or common sense. She clearly had no guilt over her actions. I could only stand there in shock and remain silent. But Tom immediately stood up.
Bring your parents here.
Tom shouted in a loud voice. I was also shocked to see him in a way I had never seen before. But even more so, Anna was surprised. Unlike the previous grinning conversation, she looked at Tom with wide eyes.
What?
You think just because you're the CEO's daughter, you can do whatever you want? Then bring that great CEO here.
Anna, now scared by Tom's voice, quickly started making a call. Less than 3 minutes later, Mike and my mother-in-law came into the living room, out of breath.
What happened?
Mike looked shocked as he saw me wiping my face and arm with a towel. Behind him, my mother-in-law wore the same expression as Mike.
I just accidentally spilled the pot, and these two started yelling at me.
Anna said this while hugging Mike. She was trembling and crying, but it was clear that she was fake crying. I wasn't sure if Mike realized this, but I could tell she was lying. We decided to correct the misunderstanding.
Whether you believe it or not is up to you, Mike. But Anna's lying. Do you really think we would yell at someone just because they spilled a pot? Also, if it was just a spill, it doesn't make sense for Nancy to get burned.
Then how did she get burned?
I don't know if you'll believe me, but Anna threw the pot at Nancy. That's how she got burned.
Tom calmly stated this without yelling. Mike kept his composure as well. It seemed like he wasn't planning to take Anna's side. He didn't seem ready to deny what Tom was saying either.
With such a big difference in the stories, it's clear one of you is lying.
Are you saying I'm the one lying? You can't trust your wife.
I'm not saying I doubt you, but I feel the same way about my brother. I just want to know which one of you is lying.
It seemed like Mike was trying to stay neutral. However, without proof, we had no way to prove Anna was lying. Without evidence, this could easily just turn into a pointless argument. I thought about that, but then Tom smiled a little and spoke up.
Well, why don't we check the camera? The surveillance camera should have sound too.
When Tom said that, Mike's face lit up. However, both Anna and I were confused. We had never heard of a camera being there.
Mike, what camera?
Look, we used to have a dog in this house. It passed away 6 months ago, but we installed a monitoring camera just in case something happened. It should still be working.
Mike said this and went to retrieve a small camera that had been placed behind the TV stand. I was shocked to see the camera in such an unexpected place, but this would prove that we were right. However, Anna wasn't having it.
Wait. You don't need to do that.
Why?
You don't have to check the camera, just believe what I'm saying. Checking it means you're doubting me. Do you want a divorce?
Seeing Anna desperately trying to stop the camera from being checked made it clear she was lying. Mike's gaze toward her had clearly changed as well. But even in this situation, Anna stubbornly held onto the camera, not letting go.
If what you're saying is really the truth, then go ahead and check the camera to prove it.
Mike spoke on behalf of everyone, but Anna refused to change her stance. She was afraid of having her actions exposed. But if she stopped the camera check, she would obviously be the one under suspicion. Despite the obvious situation, she was desperately trying to buy herself more time.
That camera's footage should be automatically saved to the computer. You can check it from there.
Yeah.
At Tom's suggestion, Mike immediately headed to the computer. However, realizing it would expose her, Anna rushed over to stop him.
Wait.
Enough already. If you're lying, I won't forgive you. If you're telling the truth, I won't forgive Tom and Nancy, and I will confirm it. Don't interfere anymore.
Mike shouted in a way I had never seen before, and even Anna fell silent. He turned on the computer and began reviewing the footage in front of everyone. There it was, footage of Anna throwing the stew at me, along with the verbal abuse she had shouted.
Looks like Tom was right. Anna, why did you lie?
Mike, who is usually kind and gentle. Even when the neighborhood kids were being loud, Mike was always the one smiling. Now, even though he wasn't getting emotional, it was clear he was questioning Anna in a low, serious tone. It was easy to tell he was furious, and not only were we intimidated, but Anna was also cowering.
There's no answer in silence. Stop wasting time and just answer me.
Well,
I don't want excuses. You know that, right? Just tell me honestly why you did this.
Mike leaned in on Anna and said this firmly. The atmosphere in the room was tense, and the more Anna stayed silent, the more we felt uncomfortable.
because this woman keeps saying such arrogant things. It's weird.
Arrogant things?
She talks to me like we're equals, even though I'm an elite CEO's daughter. And even with the stew thing, what's that about? Normally, you'd order high-end steak.
In front of Mike, Anna had been hiding her true nature and putting on a polite face. But now, her true self came out. She had only made degrading remarks about me when Mike wasn't around. Most likely, Mike didn't know about her true nature.
Is that your real feelings?
Yes. My parents run a company, and we've always had a wealthy life. I was born into an elite family.
I sighed at Anna's true feelings, but she clearly believed this deeply. She saw looking down on others as completely normal. Mike didn't show much emotion, but he let out a small sigh. He was probably disappointed to learn the true nature of his spouse.
But just because you're rich doesn't mean you can do whatever you want. How could you not even understand something so simple?
Because it's not my fault. Why am I the one who has to be blamed?
Anna seemed genuinely convinced of her innocence. It seemed that Anna had no intention of admitting to anything, and both Tom and I were left speechless.
All right then. Let's talk about this another day. Why don't you go back to your parents' place?
What time do you think it is? It's already past 8 p.m., and you want me to leave now.
People like you aren't needed here. Once I explain the situation, your parents should back you up, right? Anyway, I'll call a cab for you, so get out.
Mike's words were clear, and Anna was absolutely furious. However, Mike didn't change his mind, and 10 minutes later, the taxi arrived. Anna kept complaining until the very end, but she finally headed to her parents' houses.
I'm really sorry, Nancy. Anna did such a terrible thing. I'll personally take care of the medical costs.
It's not Mike's fault, so please don't apologize. I'm angry at Anna, not at you. I appreciate what you did for us.
But we're not just going to let this go, right?
It's true that I was burned, but Mike wasn't to blame. On the contrary, I was grateful to him for standing by us. But what was more important now was how to handle Anna. I didn't want to just let this slide, and Anna needed to take responsibility.
Of course. I think her parents will be here by tomorrow morning.
I didn't know how far Mike had thought this through, but it seemed like he was handling things, so I decided not to worry any further. I didn't want to end the year feeling upset. I focused on just giving first aid and tried to forget about Anna. The day after the new year began. Just as Mike had said, the next morning, Anna arrived at the in-laws' house with her parents.
Are you Nancy? We are truly sorry for what Anna did, causing you to get burned.
I, Anna's mother, sincerely apologize to you.
Anna's parents, Eric Brown and Mary Brown, sincerely apologized to me at the door. As Mike had predicted, they came as soon as possible. Since I couldn't just let this go, I led Anna and her parents to the living room.
It's been a while.
I think it's been a month since we last met.
My in-laws had been out since morning, so the only people at the houses were me, Tom, and Mike. Both Mike and Tom were calm and didn't seem surprised by the situation.
Please have a seat. I'll bring some tea. We can talk afterward.
Tom said as he headed to the kitchen. A tense silence filled the room, but Anna's parents remained with their heads down the entire time.
Please first have some tea.
Thank you, but please let us apologize first. We are truly sorry for what happened.
I apologize too. Anna did something unforgivable, and we sincerely ask for your forgiveness.
Both of them apologized. It was true that what Anna had done was inexcusable. Yesterday, Mike had told me that her parents were proud of their position as business owners. It was precisely because her parents had such high pride that someone like Anna was raised. So I wasn't expecting them to apologize.
Isn't there an apology from her? The company your parents run is at stake, and yet she's been silent this whole time.
I'm sorry.
Anna reluctantly apologized. Her attitude remained as arrogant as ever, in stark contrast to her parents. But what caught my attention more than anything was Tom's comment. Running a company?
Actually, about 6 months ago, Mike consulted with me. Anna's parent company was struggling, and we ended up doing business with them to help. I hadn't told Nancy about it though.
To avoid worrying Anna, it was supposed to be kept secret, and since I couldn't do much at my company, I consulted with Tom.
Finally, I understood why Anna's parents were apologizing so much. Tom's company was a business partner of their company. The fact that Anna's parents even went so far as to apologize was proof that they realized the gravity of what Anna had done.
I also run a company, so I understand your feelings. However, Anna used her parents as a shield in the end. In that case, I can't say this is none of my business.
I completely understand. I will re-educate Anna and make an apology as well.
We can't say that we have no responsibility for raising such a person with no common sense.
Anna probably thought that if she told her parents, they would cover for her. But reality wasn't so easy. In terms of position, Tom was much higher up, and I'm sure Anna's parents were truly shocked after hearing what she had said. I was disappointed that Anna still acted so brazenly even when there was no one on her side. But I understood her parents' feelings.
Since Nancy is the main victim here, you can decide what to do.
I still can't bring myself to forgive Anna. She's apologizing out of obligation. And I don't think she feels sorry at all, right?
See, just because the tables have turned a bit, don't get cocky. I'm apologizing, so that should be enough.
At this point, there was no use expecting anything from Anna, especially when she was reacting with such a temper in this situation. So I made up my mind about what I wanted to do. All right, then please cut ties with me. That's fine.
Then divorce me. I can't live with someone like that from now on.
Wait.
Mike suddenly brought up his divorce. I was also shocked by this. Indeed, I did want to cut ties with Anna. I imagine Mike felt the same way, but hearing the word divorce was a real shock.
You're a person who's reached rock bottom, and now you're throwing a tantrum. I can't trust you anymore. The trust is completely broken.
Wait, you don't have to say it like that.
It's impossible. Go live your life however you want.
Mike spoke coldly, almost like he was pushing her away. He suddenly stood up and left the room. I wondered what he was doing, but he quickly returned with an envelope in hand.
Here, the divorce papers. Sign them. I'll submit them to the court.
Don't say things like that. I'm not getting a divorce.
Enough already. You've been selfish from the start. We've reached the limit of our patience.
Mike shouted loudly. The force of his anger made Anna shrink back.
What's so fun about putting people down? Stop causing trouble.
Anna, sign it now. What you did can't be undone.
Yeah, trust is much harder to fix than you think. And right now, you don't have any right to argue.
Anna, who thought her own parents would back her up, finally broke down in tears right there.
Please don't say that. Please forgive me.
Whether she was faking it to gain sympathy or if she was genuinely desperate, I couldn't tell. But no matter the tears, I wasn't going to forgive her, and Mike's feelings hadn't changed either.
Enough already. Don't cause any more trouble for everyone. This is all your fault.
If you truly regret it, take responsibility for your actions.
In the end, even Anna's parents yelled at her, and she signed the divorce papers while crying. Afterward, the payment for the alimony I was owed was taken over by Anna's parents.
How did this happen?
This is all the result of your own actions. You'll live with regret for the rest of your life.
Shut up. I don't want to hear that from you.
At this point, there was no turning back for her. I didn't care what anyone thought of me anymore. Is that all you can say when you're confronted with the truth? If you don't reflect on what you've done, you'll keep making the same mistakes.
You don't understand how I feel after losing everything.
Anna, still defiant, snapped at me. At this point, it was unbelievable that she still showed no signs of remorse. You always talk about yourself. Why don't you think about how I feel? Or how Mike feels? Or how your parents feel?
What?
If you can only think about yourself, you'll keep repeating the same mistakes forever. When I said that, Anna fell silent. I could only hope that, even a little, she would reconsider her actions. Afterward, Anna was taken home by her parents, and I was finally released from the tense situation. The details of the alimony and divorce were all settled, and I was just waiting for contact from her parents. 1 week later, I got a message from Anna's parents saying they were ready. I met them at a nearby cafe.
The alimony has been transferred. We will make sure Anna repays the full amount.
I appreciate your feelings, but I want Anna to take responsibility for this, so please handle that part.
Of course. We will ensure she repays it, and afterward, we'll cut all ties. We want her to understand the difficulties of living on her own.
Her parents promised to make sure that Anna repaid the alimony they had covered for me. Then, Mike immediately took action after the divorce was finalized and kicked Anna out. She returned to her parents' house and began working at their company. Her entire salary went toward paying off the debt, and she lived a life with no freedom. About a year later,
Mike told me that Anna has paid off the money she owed. Now she's living alone.
Oh, really? What's she doing for work?
She was kicked out of her parent company. It seems they've cut ties with her too. Now she's doing multiple part-time jobs and living in a cheap apartment.
I didn't expect her to be living a luxurious life, but I was surprised to hear it was such a tight situation. She was living a life much more difficult than the people she had looked down on. I don't know how Anna feels now, but I hope she has realized that her actions were wrong. As for me, I'm still living happily with Tom, and every day is enjoyable. My work is going well, and we're planning to go to Hawaii together next month. We've also been talking about having children next year. The future ahead of me is bright. Life is unpredictable, and you never know what might happen. There are times when you face unreasonable situations that you can't change on your own. Whether or not there is someone to lend a hand in such situations is what truly shapes your life. I refuse to live a lonely, miserable life like Anna's, and I've decided to continue cherishing the people around me as I move forward.